Good morning, everyone. We're going to start our briefing now. We're looking at a much quieter period compared to what we had certainly yesterday with that strong cold front and some of the strong winds we had and heavy rain. So looking at the highlights here, we're going to have kind of a welcome period of mainly dry weather, changeable but seasonal temperatures through the weekend. We're going to warm up a little bit tomorrow and Saturday, and then cool down again Sunday. It will be quite windy, breezy to windy today, later today through tonight, as the next kind of reinforcing shot of cold air comes in, where we've got high pressure building in from the west with a low pressure off the northeast. Generally looking dry, as I said, just maybe a slight chance of some light rain as we get on Saturday. Dry Sunday and turning cooler, and then high pressure builds over us and shifts off the coast into the middle of next week, which will bring a significant warm up for especially, you're looking forward to spring. It should be turning much warmer as we get, especially Tuesday into next Wednesday. Marine weather with those winds, we do have gale warnings going into effect tonight. Small crafts today, gale warnings tonight for the bay and the ocean, with some gusts of 40, 45 miles per hour expected across especially the ocean. Small craft advisories elsewhere. That will be diminishing tomorrow, and headlines will go down with lighter winds. And then a weak front coming through Saturday night may bring some low-end small craft advisory conditions with a north wind briefly. But then it's going to be pretty benign on the marine area through Sunday through the middle of next week. This is still North Carolina Severe Weather Preparedness Week. See more details at the links. So looking at the fronts here, you can see right here, here's the cold front, strong low off to the northeast of us, high pressure off down near the Gulf Coast. As we get into the weekend, the high builds over us. We have a little weak. This system here out in Colorado will start to come through. That's where we might get a little chance of some light rain on Saturday, but really chances are about 20%. We're not looking at much of anything. And high pressure builds back into early next week, and then you can see high pressure by the middle of next week moving offshore. That'll allow for our southerly winds to increase, bringing those much warmer temperatures. There's a storm system here in the middle of the country that approaches kind of later next week, but it should not affect us until at the earliest as we go into next Thursday, when rain chances would increase. You can see the rainfall totals through Sunday morning, very light. This is just reflecting the possibility of something very light on Saturday. Here's the 7-day, at least out through into Thursday morning. You can see really just little to no rain expected across the area. But then as we get beyond this period, as we get into next Thursday, we will have some rain chances coming in. This is just looking at the winds as we have. This is basically this afternoon into tonight. You can see it's pretty strong wind gusts, nothing like yesterday in some of those storms, but pretty breezy afternoon with gusts 35 to 40 miles per hour, maybe a little higher on the eastern shore. We don't have any headlines out because I don't expect it to be very long lived, but it could be, pretty windy on the eastern shore, especially later this afternoon through tonight. The winds tonight will be diminishing to the west of the bay after midnight, and then much lighter winds will prevail from Friday through the middle of next week. Just looking at our max temperature forecast, we'll highlight the kind of our normals are generally looking like right now, this time of year, we're generally in the mid-50s across the eastern shore and in northern areas to around 60 across the southern areas. So you can see highs today not budging much from current values. So maybe, near a little below normal, warming up a little bit tomorrow and a little warmer on Saturday. Then see kind of a cool down Sunday. And then as you can see, this warm up next week as we really get, definitely in most areas into the 70s Tuesday and Wednesday. And, I wouldn't be surprised to see Wednesday, maybe in a couple places trying to touch 80. Minimum temperature forecast, nothing extreme. A little colder some of these mornings in 30s and 40s. And then you can see in the middle of next week, it does warm up more to the 40s and 50s for lows. And looking at the rain chances, we have very minimal chances today, but generally just a sprinkle or so or light shower, maybe across the eastern shore. Again, Saturday, here's our low end chances Saturday, and then pretty dry Monday, Tuesday. And then you can see Wednesday, this is really These chances Wednesday are really looking at as we get into Wednesday night. Marine headlines, marine probabilities, you can see the red for the 25 knot gusts, pretty much very high likelihood everywhere. And then for the gale force gusts, you can see it's focused more in the bay and the ocean, and then not looking at anything of storm force. But we will have small crafts in the gales in effect tonight into early tomorrow. Just looking at the next several days, same kind of thing. You can see this is this bottom left one here showing just the potential for maybe a low end small craft as we go into Saturday night with that reinforcing cold air, but generally looking pretty quiet after this initial period. The peak winds on the marine, you can see the gusts 35 plus knots in the bay, and then 40 to 45 especially across the northern ocean where gale warnings affect. The flow is enough northwest that it's offshore enough that we're not looking at any excessive seas, but pretty widespread 5 to 7 feet likely tonight into the along the ocean near shore. So gale warning is going to affect, and then much more benign conditions after Friday afternoon through the middle of next week. Here's just highlighting the wind forecast for marine. You can see there's elevated gusts later today, tonight, and then see it generally much more benign. When you do see it tick up a little bit when the winds shift to the north Saturday night, Sunday morning. But you can see the seas generally after today and tonight diminishing pretty significantly. Looking ahead, this captures kind of the later part of next week, especially the mid to late part of next week. So you see the chances of above normal temperatures are very high across the area. There's those normals being generally lower 60s in northeast North Carolina to about the mid 50s across the north and across the eastern shore. And then near to above normal precipitation amount favored during this 6 to 10 day, but that's generally looking at the later part of the March 3rd, like beyond. We're only going down through March 12th here, so it'll be like later next week with that system. We could get some heavier, moderate to heavy rain coming in, but really nothing through Wednesday. So that's all I've got. Just to summarize, just mainly dry with changeable seasonal temperatures the weekend, and warm up next week. Gale warnings, windy conditions today and tonight, and then that it's still North Carolina preparedness week. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.